Uh, Virgo, before I say a single word about what is coming through today, I need you to do something. Something that does not come naturally to your sign. Something that the analytical evidence gathering, show me the proof part of you is going to resist with every tool it has. I need you to let yourself believe something good, not provisionally, not with the 17 qualifications and the protective footnotes and the small print of someone who has learned that hoping fully is the fastest route to being hurt fully. Completely, for the duration of this reading, just completely, because what is coming through today deserves that quality of reception. And you deserve to hear it without immediately reaching for reasons it cannot be true. Some of what I share today may not be meant for every Virgo watching. Take what lands somewhere real. Release what does not with love. But for those of you who already have a face in your mind, a name, a presence, someone whose energy you have been carrying around in your chest like something you cannot put down, this is entirely for you. There is a person who has loved you from the beginning, not from when things became convenient, not from when the timing aligned or the circumstances improved or the situation became something they could label and present to the world without complication. From the beginning, from the specific and unrepeatable moment when they first encountered the full, particular, completely itself reality of who you are, and something in them recognized it with the absolute pre rational certainty of something that does not require evidence because it simply knows. Soft sigh. That love has not moved, has not wavered, has not done what Virgo's careful, wound informed heart has perhaps been bracing for it to do, which is reveal itself over time to have been something smaller or more conditional or more fragile than it presented at the beginning. It has done the opposite. It has deepened quietly, without announcement, in the private interior of someone who has been carrying the full weight of what they feel for you through everything, through whatever distance or silence or complication has characterized the recent chapter, and finding every time they take inventory of what they carry that the weight has not decreased. It has grown. If anything, it has grown. Now, let me speak to Virgo specifically to the particular and deeply characteristic way that your sign receives love, or more precisely, the way it struggles to receive love. Because Virgo is, in the most loving and most honest sense of this observation, one of the signs most likely to be loved deeply and most likely to talk themselves out of believing it. You analyze, you audit, you take the evidence of affection that someone offers and you run it through the internal process, checking for consistency, looking for the moment when the warmth reveals its conditions, waiting for the catch that your experience has taught you is almost always somewhere in the fine print of being loved. And this process, exhausting for you, invisible to the person doing the loving, has the specific and unfortunate effect of keeping you at a slight remove from the full experience of being loved, of receiving it at arm's length while it is trying to reach you completely. This person has been trying to reach you completely, has been extending what they carry toward you with a consistency that your audit should, by now, have registered as significant. Because consistency, sustained, unrewarded, not contingent on receiving the response they hoped for, consistency is the one thing that cannot be manufactured. Performance fades. Strategy reveals itself. But someone who has loved you from the start and is still loving you through the analysis, through the distance you sometimes create, through the Virgo habit of making people prove themselves long past the point where the proof should have been accepted, that person is telling you something with their persistence that their words alone could never convey. They mean it. They have always meant it, and the meaning has not diminished with time. Let me speak in their voice now because it is pressing forward and needs to reach you in the form that is closest to how it actually lives in them. Virgo, I need you to hear this, not the filtered version, not the version you have been allowing yourself to receive because the full version felt too large to trust. The actual version, the one I have been carrying since the beginning and have not found a way to deliver in a form that your extraordinary, infuriating, completely beloved, analytical mind would accept as real. I loved you before I understood what I was feeling, before it had a name, before I could have explained it to anyone, including myself. It was simply there, from the first real encounter with who you actually are, not who you present, who you actually are. The depth that you keep at careful distance from most people, the sensitivity that you protect behind the precision, the extraordinary quality of mind that you undervalue because it is so familiar to you that you have stopped registering it as exceptional. I saw all of it from the beginning, and I have never stopped seeing it. Soft sigh. And I genuinely know that you have not always let yourself believe that. That there is a part of you that keeps looking for the moment when what I feel reveals itself to be something more manageable, more conditional, more proportionate to what you have decided is reasonable to expect from another person. That part of you is waiting for me to become less, to reveal the ceiling of what I feel, the point at which my love reaches its limit, the condition that makes it contingent rather than simply what it is. I have no ceiling for what I feel for you. That is what I need you to understand. What I carry for you does not have a ceiling. It has a depth I am still discovering. And every time I think I have found the bottom of it, every time I think I have fully accounted for the size of what I feel, I find more care, more specific, located, this person and no other love, more of the particular and consuming feeling that arrived at the beginning and has never once indicated that it was planning to leave. Oh, Virgo, let that land. Not in the part of you that immediately begins assessing its credibility. In the other part, the deeper part, the part that existed before the auditing became necessary, before experience taught you that love required verification before it could be trusted. Let it land there. Because here is what Spirit is bringing through for Virgo today with the most insistence, the thing that is pressing forward above everything else. You are meant to be with this person. And I want to speak about what meant to be actually means, because Virgo, of all signs, deserves the honest version rather than the mystical one that floats above scrutiny. Ooh, meant to be does not mean effortless, does not mean free from difficulty or complexity or the very real work of two genuine people navigating a genuine connection. Does not mean that the path between here and what is possible is smooth or short or free from the specific obstacles that your sign's particular combination of gifts and wounds tends to place in the way of its own happiness. What it means in the specific and honest sense that Spirit is using it today is that the person and the connection are proportionate to who you actually are, not who you have had to be for others, not the compressed, careful, make yourself manageable version of Virgo that most relationships have required. The full version, the one with the depth and the precision and the extraordinary quality of care and the specific and sometimes inconvenient standards and the capacity for love that, when it is genuinely given rather than carefully rationed, is unlike anything most people will ever encounter. That full version is what this person fell in love with. That full version is what they have been loving from the start. And a love that is proportionate to the full version of Virgo that was never going to be ordinary, was never going to be small, was always going to carry the specific weight of something that was built for the actual size of you rather than the managed size. Nobody else. That is the other piece that Spirit is pressing forward today with a specificity I cannot ignore. Not in the possessive, closed, nothing else exists sense, in the accurate sense, in the sense of this person has looked in the specific and comprehensive way that genuine hearts look when they are trying to find an alternative to something inconvenient and has found no one who carries what you carry. No one who produces in them what you produce. No one who reaches the specific place in them that you reach simply by being what you are. Nobody else reaches that place, and they know it, have known it from the beginning, are knowing it more fully, more specifically, more undeniably, with every passing day in which the absence of you confirms what the presence of you always suggested. Soft sigh. Now, what does Virgo do with this? Because I know your sign. I know that even now, even receiving this, the process has begun. The assessment, the but what about, the practical questions that Virgo asks, not because it does not feel, but because feeling without a plan makes it feel exposed in a way that is genuinely uncomfortable. Here is the plan. Simple, Virgo appropriate, one step. Let yourself want this without the protective hedging, without the managed expectations that keep the wanting at a size that feels survivable if it does not work out, without the 17 contingency plans running in the background of a heart that has learned to want carefully in case wanting fully leads to losing fully. Just want it, the full, specific, nobody else version of it. The version where this person who has loved you from the beginning and found no one else who compares is actually genuinely, completely in your life. Not in the managed, careful, let us see how this develops way. In the full way, the way that matches the size of what they have been feeling for you since the start. That wanting the full, unhedged, completely committed wanting is not naivety. For Virgo, it is the most courageous thing available. More courageous than any of the practical, strategic, protect yourself at all costs moves your sign is so expert at making. Because courage for Virgo is not action, it is the specific and terrifying act of allowing yourself to be fully in something without the exit strategy, without the footnotes, without the small print that makes the loving feel survivable at the cost of making it feel partial. You are meant to be with this person. They have loved you from the start. Nobody else has reached where you reach in them. And the only thing standing between where you are and where that belonging actually lives, the only remaining obstacle is Virgo's own willingness to believe it completely. Believe it, Virgo. Not because it is comfortable, because it is true. And your sign, more than any other, has always had the capacity to recognize truth when it is placed directly in front of them. This is the truth placed directly in front of you. You are loved. You have always been loved by this person from the beginning, without condition and without ceiling and without the diminishment that time and difficulty have a tendency to produce in lesser things. Receive it, all of it, right now, in this moment, before the audit begins again. If this found you today, if something here finally bypassed the process and landed somewhere that the process cannot reach, stay close. Subscribe and come back. Because the story of Virgo, finally, completely, without the footnotes, believing in what was always real, is one worth following all the way through to its most beautiful chapter. And the next reading will be there for every step of it.